Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Philip, Infinity, Wade, Arturo, Eric, Dave, Valerie, Sergio, Larry, Maurizio, Donald, JB, Nikki. Good morning, everybody. Svenborn from all the way up in Iceland. Roland, John, David, Ed, Craig, Ray, Jan. Goose is back with a brand new invention. Cliff, Dan, Rex, Darren, Michael, Kevin. Glad to see everybody. Kevin, you made it to the live show. Diane, welcome, welcome. All right, so yeah, we've got mini retirement. The theme of the day, the picture that I kind of was struggling to get a monster that looked, had gray hair and stuff. So I actually used a gold miner, and that's what came out for the image today. And boomers are actually retiring earlier than projected. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. And let me pull that up here. Replace the wrong screen and check this out right here. Oop, hit the right button. Right button, right button. Look at this, a sharp uptick in early retirements. So the like it or not, the baby boomers are the ones who are retiring, and right now we're having an excess in early retirements hitting here, and it's actually an uptick. And we were getting an uptick in, kind of picked up in COVID. People were like, "I'm just done with this crap," and it seems to be continuing that people kind of done with it and getting out. And it's interesting. This group is probably going to free up 9.2 million houses. We're roughly short about 7.2 million houses to having everybody properly, to having the market properly fulfilled with housing. So if 9.2 million go on the market, as these people move into RVs and retirement facilities and all the other things, as they give up those properties, we may actually go through, instead of a housing, right now there's like a shortage and it's making prices go up really fast, but we may go through a glut where we suppress prices for a little while. So this is interesting dynamic playing out here. Ties into a lot of the stories that I've been talking about the past several weeks. So here you can see, here was the orange line was the projected retirement rate. 2020, we kind of took an arc up into a new parallel kind of channel, but now we're actually accelerating beyond that. And, this is the civilian non-institutional population over the age of 16 who are not inmates and not active duty of the armed forces. So we're looking at, we're getting 20% of basically the normal population being retirees. And it's accelerating higher. That's kind of interesting. It's a different dynamic in the economy than we've had for the, for the foreseeable past, for the memorable past. Now, what are these people doing to try to extend their savings and get further ahead? Look at this. 46% are adding stocks. 46%. 29% by another way. Don't specify what the other way is. 19% not doing anything, just sitting on what they did. And that's probably the ones that, that's probably your ants that actually did what they're supposed to. This is your grasshoppers, probably over here, that are thinking that they played hard and maybe didn't get the retirement set up. And then 6% adding gold. So gold is not super popular. Interesting, right? Interesting. A little tongue in cheek there, John. Hey, inmates and active duty in the same sentence, even in the same chart. So anyway, right there. That if that's you, if you're in this demographic right here, hopefully you heed my warnings and be careful out there. All right. Nobody's going to watch out for your money more than you. You've got to actively manage it. You can't just go in and forget it. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you understand that. But I just want to throw that out there that you got to be vigilant in your own investments. All right. Now, coming on down, we have Target hitting this morning, moving Nio, however you say it, Ferguson, and a few other things. It's quite a packed week. It's just not a lot of bigger names. I mean, there's some bigger-ish names in here. I mean, Kroger, one of the largest grocery stores in the country. You know, you got Target on here, and various things, but they're not like the AI5 or the Magnificent Seven. So, we do have Broadcom coming up, AVGO. That's one of the 5, I guess you could say. Costco has been just crushing it. We'll see how they do later in the week. So there you go. Quite a bit of food and things coming up here this morning. Or this week, I guess. I said this morning, but it's really this week. And before we get into the chart and the fact that we basically hit 5150 yesterday, let's go ahead and talk about the disclaimer. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Just because I talk about it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never, ever get another prediction right again, although that's going to kind of suck because that's kind of what I do. But anyway, this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. All right. Don't buy stuff from gurus. Don't buy stuff from people like me unless you trust them. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy cryptos. Don't buy futures. Don't buy bonds. Don't buy treasuries. Don't long them. Don't short them. Don't do any of that stuff. You can lose money. All right. You can. You probably will at some point take a loss and lose some money. There's a substantial risk of loss. And if you, I don't know what that was. If you desire personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. All right. Somebody that has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your financial situation. But remember, most people out there are just trying to make some of your money, some of their money. And they don't really care. All right. Not really. It's like, if you lose money, that person that you hired, if you lose money, are they going to lose sleep at night? It's probably doubtful. Doubtful. So make sure that somebody you hire really cares. Now, I do tend to care about how all of you are doing, but you have to share your details. You can't get yourself in a financial jam and then come ask me to what you should do. One, I can't give you advice, and two, my guidance, it works a lot better if you do it on the front end, not on the back end after you're already in the jam. All right, moving on. The calendar this week, we have Jerome Powell speaking or testifying, I guess you would say, in front of Congress coming up tomorrow and Thursday. Today, Super Tuesday. We'll see how that plays out. But I don't think there's going to be any big surprises. That's we do have the services PMI coming up at 10. So that's coming up at 37 minutes-ish. And I may still be live. I may not. Then tomorrow we have, the JOLTS jobs. Not really any pre-market big stuff. I mean, we get the ADP non-farm employment change. And then on Friday, we get the non-farm numbers, down here. So I'm not sure how that's all going to play out, but right there you go. Unemployment, average hourly earnings, all that, basically the monthly unemployment report, as they call it. So, all right. Or the monthly employment report, whatever, however they refer to it. Get that on Friday, and then that'll wrap up this week. Just burning through weeks like crazy. So anyway, and anybody can spend your money faster than you can. That's true. And so, dun 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 dun. Let's go to this chart really quickly and see. Go right here, and that was not exactly the chart I saved, I don't think, but hey, we'll clean this up. Clean it up, buttercup. And right up there to 5150. And looky. I posted this in Discord yesterday. I think It's this one I need. Price label. Need to turn on the magnet for just a second. Right there. Look at that. See that top? Dun, 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 dun. I mean, if I got that within 37 cents, or 33 cents, if that's the high, and I got that within 33 cents, I mean, that's scary close. If we push on through, no big deal. But if that was the high tick, wow. That's all I can say right there. Just wow. So, is lucky or good? I don't know. Lucky or good. But there we are, right up in the target zone. Do we get sideways from here and then pop? You know, here's the 3 major choices. Going higher, going sideways, going down. Which one are we going to do? Which one? Which one? If you went long S&P, protect your profits at this point. Be very careful. This party can end on a dime. I mean, we could. There's some cases I could make in the chart where we could get a couple more squiggles higher, but that 5150 level was a major target, and we can turn and we can burn this down, and it could be the start of something for a while. So please be careful. Can we keep being crazier? Sure, we can go all the way up to 6,000. We can keep crazy. Crazy can keep being crazy. You know, the 1618 level on the simplified chart, 5,500. The extension up here, 6,300. I'm not so sure we're going to do that, especially without a pullback of some sort. We don't typically just jam and bam it, you know, on the index. And the S5FI still does not have very broad participation as we made that all-time high. Gives me some pause, gives me some concern here. All right. Just throwing that out there. Stocks at above the 200-day, still hovering well under 80%. Stocks above their 20-day, we're back up near 80. This may be what we needed before we roll off again. All right, please be careful. Please, please, please. Be ready. Like now is the time. I said 5150 over, you know, for months. It seems like, and now we're there, and now it's time to be freaking careful. I'm not even joking a little bit, not sugarcoating anything here. This is a very, very precarious position, and we've already got a potential reversal brewing here in the markets. I mean, that could be the top. It could. It very well could. I can make a case for a couple more squiggles, a couple more pushes higher, but this is looking cooked. I have to say, you know, we saw that come right up into that 18,400 area. I mean, pretty dang close, 380 right there. Then 20 points on something that's got 5 numbers in it. I mean, pretty dang close, and we can roll from here. Please be careful. This looks more impulsively down right now than this does right here. What does impulsively down mean? It means the start of a new trend, potentially. All right. On the small little squiggles, and this looks like 5 down right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could get an extension. We may get a retrace and then continuation. These are the small little initial moves that can start a reversal, especially off of the highest high on all, basically highest high we've had recently. This is not an all-time high on Russell. It's just the highest high. And be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. All right? Any questions, you can let me know. If you're wondering what the devil ES and Q RTY are, that's the futures for the S&P 500 for ES. NASDAQ, QQQ is NQ. And Russell right there, IWM, that's your small caps, Russell 2000. All right? Why do I look at the futures? Because they trade all night, and they don't leave a bunch of gaps. See, if we go look at the SPX chart, we don't have any, here a couple seconds before the open, we don't have any data. Like it hadn't moved. And there he goes, off to the races, TLT, potentially heading to 110. breaking above the roadmap line. Watch that one. If it reverses back lower, and actually I'm going to put alert here and alert here. I want to know if I'm breaking above that or if I'm breaking back below that. Interesting. All right. Sorry for the silence. This is a trade I'm actually interested in because look at this. Look at this setup. Just move up. This retrace, holding this area. If we break back higher, probably going on up here to 110. Be the target right here for TLT. You see where that red line comes in? That'd be where this move right here is about equal to that move right there. That'd be a 110 target. But I just have my initial alert on that right there, breaking above the roadmap line. And interesting. Not sure I'm going to trade it. Not sure. We could push lower. Still watching, still waiting. Not usually one I talk about. I had a bunch of other alerts go off there. TLT. Apparently I had a couple of them at the same price. Shipping. Oh, look at that. Look at that crypto. Launching off. Wow. Nice moves. Bitcoin basically, some exchanges made an all-time high. Some exchanges not. Looks like Coinbase came up a little shy. On the all-time history for TradingView, we came up right to it. Didn't step over it. That's interesting. If we could bust through, we could run. All right. Just looking at my big picture market roadmap pattern, same fib pattern I always use. We are in the zone where it's 70% likely we're going to shoot on up here to like 83. And if you throw it in log mode, that could be 102. All right. I would go with the more conservative non-log mode number of 83,000. And the 1618 up there at 101. So it's interesting, the 1618 of the non-log mode and the 1272 of log mode are basically in the same spot. It's interesting to me. Now, just based on the prior patterns, I do expect us to land somewhere between 150 and 300,000 on this halving run. And it's more than likely not going to get up to those kind of levels until after halving. But right now, we seem to be having some sort of FOMO, super squeeze, late to the party, I got to get in situation here. Now, another thing to note, we're sitting at the all-time high, or just right at it, on Bitcoin USD. If you're looking at BITO, right here, check this baby out. We are somewhat significantly shy of the all-time high. That was 44 up here. We're sitting down here at 31. Now you can adjust it for, it does pay some dividends, and we're closer, but we're still not there. So this one is lagging. Is that opportunity to catch up? I don't know. I kind of started to see this last week when we were hitting my target in the 25 zone that I've been looking for a couple of years. And I decided to liquidate my options that I had. I had some Aprils, just next month. And I had some stuff out to January of 25. I didn't really have any 26s on BITO. So I went ahead and liquidated. I was up like 300 to 500%. So I just want to point this out and be careful. Now, one that is going crazier, look at this baby. BITX, that gives you 2 times leverage. If you think this is going to run on up into the 6 figures, it might be worth it to buy some shares of this. And if you really feel like playing with fire, I mean, you feel like being dangerous, I'm a gambler, go buy some options. You get 10x leverage on your 2x leverage, so like 20x leverage. It's about the best you can do in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., you can go to it's like Deribit, I think. Let's see. I found this yesterday. Check this place out. Look at this. Look at this ridiculousness. You can get 50x leverage on your Bitcoin trades right here. Now you'd be like, well, why don't we trade there? Because it's prohibited in the United States. So they do not support the United States. And reject all. Dun, dun, dun. Which countries are restricted? Restricted countries list. And we scroll down the list. And the United States right there. So not tradable in the United States. That's why I don't talk about it. But it's kind of a crazy big market here. Look at how many billions of dollars they trade on options on Bitcoin with the leverage. So if you're outside the U.S., maybe you can, and you like playing with fire, there you go. There's just something to do. Well, look at that. $8.8 billion of volume in the last 24 hours on this exchange. Straight crazy. Straight crazy. Completely unregulated. Anyway, so there you go. BITO seemed to outperform on the going down, but I mean, if you look at the performance here, we went from here to here. That was a 79% loss. And if we look at Bitcoin, from the high to the low, 77%. It outperformed slightly on the downside, underperformed slightly on the upside. Just pointing it out there, all right? And it's, you know what the long and the short of it is? It's probably the management costs. This fee, wherever it is in here, there's a fee, management fee, yeah, right there, expense ratio fee, and then they have trading fees on top of that. So those fees probably came out of here and ate that other 2%. I'm willing to bet. Not the expense ratio is the management fee, and then you have actual trading fees that get added on top of this. So this is not the only fee that you're paying. The other fee is a flexible fee, and they can't just publish it. So that underperformance is probably that loss to the fees of the fund. All right. Any questions? There you go. Learn something new every day on these fees, right? So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of ETFs. Some of them I'll play, but in general, I'm not the biggest fan and trader of ETFs. There's other better things to do. All right, moving on. Oil was popping, now kind of easing up a little bit. Was popping yesterday. Retrace back to the roadmap line again. Bouncing. If we break out, I mean, we've already got the odds that we've already tipped the scale. We're more than likely going to 83, if not 87, or even 92. I bought my initial position. I may add to it today on this pullback. We'll see what shakes out here after I get off of the live stream. GC on the way, man. On the way. This is a beautiful potential move. We rejected right at that prior high from December. Right there. A breakout is more than likely going to take us significantly higher. I need to fix the fib target here. And the initial fib target was up here at 220. Or no, 2200. Excuse me, 2200. And this retrace, go to that low. Yeah, 2200. Got some confluence at 2200. And we're not even log mode. If we went to log mode, oh, that was log mode. Yeah, 2200. Same numbers, basically, both ways. 2200. There's gold breaking out. I expected one little push lower, but didn't happen. It decided to do a running flat. This is for you wave payer attentioners, this retrace here and the fact that we made a higher low here, that's a running flat. It's a bullish continuation pattern. I mean, that was a corrective pattern, but usually we only see that in the most bullish of bullish moves, and this baby can really start moving. All right, we're talking about significant upside potential on gold. Bitcoin, like I said, kind of stalling out right below that all-time high, and we may pop it. Be careful out there. Nothing's a given at this point. We are in the halving window, and I do expect this thing to get pretty spicy here. We're right at 45 days. I was suspecting somewhere around 45, 30 to 45 days, we would kick off some sort of FOMO super squeeze thing where people are piling in. They don't want to miss out on this supposedly bullish halving event. So we may see this continue for the next 45 days. But there again, the party can end at any point and we get some sort of massive retrace. All right. We could retrace it pretty deeply. We could get a 20, 30% retrace, without sweating. All right. 23.6, 23.6% retrace or 38.2% retrace, Fibonacci numbers, very, very easily. And even a 50% retrace, that would shake some people, wouldn't it? Going from almost 70 back down to 35. That's going to test everybody's resolve. So watch out. All right. We could get that kind of retrace before we even get through halving. And the actual halving run, the bullish run that we usually see after halving, is not going to occur for more than likely 200 days past halving. So be careful out there, please. All right. Don't think that the big run should happen because of halving or into halving. That's not the way this usually works. The big run usually takes place 200 days, 220 to 240 days is when it really gets going past halving. All right. So that's December of this year. It's going to be a little while. Patience, my friends, patience. Oops, wrong button. All right, that's Bitcoin. Ethereum, probably going on the ride. Looks like we're going to move on up. Those next targets up there. We're 70% likely to go visit that 7,500 at this point on Ethereum. Possibly even as high as 13,000. That'd be a pretty wild ride in the cards. Dollar continues to churn right on the roadmap line. Right on the roadmap line. If we break above this, we're going up. If we break below this, we're going down. And otherwise, probably just churning sideways until the market decides which way we're going. Now, what's moving today? Poppers and droppers. There weren't a lot of poppers. There were quite a few droppers. So AVAV right up into the target. And roadmap line, go. There it is. Didn't even touch the roadmap line. I thought we might touch it, but we didn't. We just got down in the zone and then popped right up almost to the 1618. If you got into it, awesome. If you didn't, you missed it. Don't chase it. It's highly risky. We may see a pullback. I mean, look over here. We popped that one and retrace. We may pop that one and retrace before we can pop again. APGE, biotech. Blech. Not a big fan of biotech. They do unreliable things. My methods to predict price moves don't tend to work on biotechs. Target, busting through. Look at that. Retraced to the bottom of that resistance zone yesterday and then popped above it. This is long-term bullish. If you wanted to build a position in Target as we get through where all these highs were right here, that would be a spot to watch for right there. Up there around 180, we get above that, we're probably going back to new highs. It may even extend new highs. That point to that point. And watch out for that. Oh man, that 618 comes in right at the gap fill. So we've got that 180. That'd be now's an initial super aggressive position. Still aggressive, more conservative. Target, target, targets for target. 312, 369 in the upside. And that's probably going to take a while. We're talking maybe next year. Could take even longer. Could go fast, but it's more likely late this year, next year. It would be what I would expect if we're gonna go running. But crazier things have happened. We could just bamming and jamming and do this and be up there by summer. That'd be pretty crazy. But it could. Target's not usually known for big, rapid, fast moves, but it could. I mean, we gapped down pretty strongly. Costco here, breaking on out, just keeps grinding higher. Next fib line up, 870, 940 above that. Spent a long time in this consolidation, and then now it's just ripping. That's watermelon seed squeeze for you. Squeezed it, and then pop. No telling how far it'll go before it finds the end of the pop there. RGNX, another biotech pharma, medtech. Ugh. Not even going to try to chart them because there's no use. That one looks pretty wild, I have to say. It's another med tech, medical specialty right there. Now, interesting here to me, that looks like a giant 3-wave up. It's the extension there. Watch out for a reversal at this 150 area right here. If we do that, it's probably going to make a lower low somewhere down here. But go busting down. Could do that. If we get up to here, oops, we get up to that level, that can be bullish for continuation higher. So watch out. Those are key levels on DVA. And that's medical stuff. So FDA involved some way, somehow, and not my favorite. Coin looks like we're going to push right on up to that 170 low. Or 270, excuse me. 270 was the target. May retrace and push higher. Dave. Hello, Dave. Not really anything to work with on that chart. No pullbacks, no nothing. Just straight up extensions, maybe up to 32, and then I'd watch for a violent reversal. Pay. That bounced right off the roadmap. Classic pattern. Right up in there. Hit the 1272, 1618, 21 above that. DWAC. Be careful. This looks like another nested wind up here. Oh, I need to go look at SCHW here. Oh yeah. So that's a 618. This is a 618. It's like a 1 2 1 2. We could crush this down very quickly. Be very careful. Be very careful. PHUN. Now, if you were trading that and you wanted to buy puts, and you're like, yeah, I want to buy puts on that, you should go out a ways. All right, we're talking. Do not try to trade this in March or April. I would be May, June, maybe even out to September, November. It could take a little while to unwind this one right here. Solana hitting my 140 target area. That was the pre-warning for 140. Beautiful, beautiful move. Wow. I got in that one at 25. That is a beautiful move right there. Next, bigger targets up. If we can get above this 165 area, looking for moves up to 330, possibly 424. Right there. So watching for that extension there. Beautiful move. Wow, just amaze myself sometimes on some of these. Let's go look at SCHW before I. Oh, yeah. Beautiful potential. Roadmap bounce 74, 79. Possibly the bigger target up here at 92. Really nice setup there. I can't remember if I have anything, but now would be a beautiful opportunity to get in that one, at least for 74, 79. Possibly the longer term target. Longer term being probably late this year if we're going to do it. Look at the climb schedule there. It's probably going to take us out to later in the year, September maybe. Maybe like how would these do this if the market pulls back? Well, these have been underperforming, right? Several of these have been underperforming while the market makes all-time highs. So we can get rotation, and these could be the ones that are performing while the market burns it down. All right, moving on. Fun, 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 fun. Looks like a giant dumpster fire. Is that a reverse split? I bet it is. Yes, 100% a dumpster fire. Don't mess with that. You're probably going to burn yourself and burn your account. BL, black line. Yep, there's one that went straight up and straight back down. We may find a bottom and get out of here, but this is not very constructive looking at the moment. Wow, look at that resistance level right there. That was support, resistance, resistance, resistance. We may go up there again. If we do, watch out for resistance yet again. FMS, because I appreciate all the caps, but MSTR is not out. It wasn't up today, and it is up because they have $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin goes up, they go up. They don't mine Bitcoin. They just hold it. And they did yesterday they decided to sell $600 million worth of more stock, dilution, and buy more Bitcoin. They don't mine it, they just buy it. All right. Whereas Mara is a miner. So if you don't understand the differences between those, you should not be trading crypto. FMS, that's a bearish pattern, even though it's up popping today. Be careful. We can get continuation lower on that one. I'll be very clear. I'm very stern about this. If you don't understand what you're trading, do not trade it. That's why I tell you to read prospectuses, get yourself informed, ask questions. But that's a very basic one that you should be able to find out yourself. If you think MSTR mines Bitcoin, you're wrong. They buy and hold Bitcoin. They are not a miner. They should not even be considered in the same statement as a miner. TMF looks bearish, and it would not surprise me to go even lower. MSTR bouncing down a little bit as Bitcoin pulls down a little bit. And they have the dilution right there. Like I said, going to sell $600 million worth of more shares, and probably going to buy more Bitcoin with that. These are, this is internet software services. They are not a crypto miner. All right, you go look at their website. They say nothing about mining or messing with Bitcoin, but they hold a pretty large chunk of Bitcoin. I think it's 190,000 Bitcoins at this point. Yeah, 190,000, 193,000 from 16 hours ago. Yeah, so there you go. And it's worth 11 billion now with the increase in Bitcoin. Beautiful. Can't trust AI though. That's why I read these down here. Alrighty. Mara, if you want to know how many Bitcoins Mara holds, Marathon. And we go to press releases. And we go look at where is there? right here. They'll tell you. There's their Bitcoin holdings. They only have 15,000. That was as of January 31st. Their new report probably come out in the next day or 3. Usually happen, typically it may come out today. February 5th is when they put out this report. They may put out the February report today. If you want to know how many Bitcoins they got and how they did in February, that'll probably be out either today or tomorrow. And you can see there's a substantial difference. But they do mine Bitcoin, and they have mining operations. You should go read this stuff. If you don't read it and don't keep up with it, and you're investing in this, this is on you for not being an informed investor, all right? I mean, look. I'm going to show you something. Welcome to the hardest game in the world. Unfortunately, you're playing with some of the sharpest, fastest, most intelligent, well-informed, stubbornly irrational, and in many cases, unethical minds in the world. You're up against the computer that can react faster than you, the trader who has more experience than you, the fund that has more money than you, the insider that has more information than you. All right, no matter how much information you inform yourself with, the insider has more than you do. Others that are going to misinform you, like people that are just plain freaking wrong. All right, a lot of people that do what I do are just straight up wrong. All right, Kramer. I mean, lots of other gurus. I'd call them out, but there's too many to name. The inner voice that's going to do the best to undo you. That's your own self. I mean, that's you. That's you putting money on the line, and you're like, oh gosh, man, I don't know. That's your inner voice trying to undo you right there. So leave all your dreams of making quick, easy money behind you. Your first aim is survival. Your absolute first goal is to learn how to stay in this game. All right, you got to stay in the game. Period. If you can't afford to stay in the game, don't play this game. And you can only do this by mapping the territory, understanding how the enemy thinks and acts, having a solid game plan, and by picking your battles very, very carefully. That's what I do. That's what I'm talking about, like dismissing a bunch of things. I pick my battles very, very carefully. If you're ready to play, hit the subscribe button over there. All right, moving on. Feel like I went down a rabbit hole for a minute. All right, SMCI. Right back to the high. That could, that may have been the final straw here. Be careful. And we've talked about that market psychology thing for a few days now. Right here was that little consolidation. We get a euphoria. We could get one more pop. Some point, we're likely to do this larger drop here. All right. Be careful. Be careful. How do you trade gold? That's too complex an option. Or too complex. There's too many options to state that. Just explain that one. So, dun, 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 GitLab reported earnings, and looks like this is always funny, right? So we reported a 15-cent profit per share, but when we standardize it, we actually lost 23 cents a share. What the fudge are you even doing? Cooking the books right there. So it's a beat, but it's not really a beat when you lose 23 cents a share. And the estimate was to make 8 cents a share. And then you have the revenue beating, not a large company, 157 million, got 163 million. ALB, ouch. I thought we were going down here. Watch for that target down here. At this point, I'm going to set an alert at 100 just because I'm curious if we do that. FERG, watch for that one to retrace. FNGU, watch for that one to retrace. Tesla, watch for that to get to 150. Support zone down there. $170 share option. Or shares at 170 may not be the best deal. Wronger, I'm telling you. Be careful. CRWD, watch for that. AMD, watch for that. PANW. If we don't hold the roadmap line, we're probably coming down here. So be careful. Apple, heading down to the 150 target. Support down here. 157, 159, possibly down to the 150 area down here. ZS, right down to the roadmap line. TKO. Seeing a lot of things starting to roll. TKO maybe on the way down here. That's a glance off the roadmap line. Extension lower. ELF. That was a major extension higher. Probably going to give that one a back up and come down for retrace. The retrace could be back to the roadmap line or could be about that big. Either way, yeah, that puts it back to the roadmap line. So watch for that retrace on Elf Beauty. Snow, my target is down here, somewhere below that low we made back here in May of last year, June last year. If we can get below that, back down below 111 or so, this will potentially be a long-term bottom. NVO, busting out. Look at that. Busting out. Yesterday, getting slammed back in. If we don't go, if we don't maintain a bust out, this is probably coming back to the bottom of the channel down here, or at least back to the roadmap line, somewhere in this vicinity. I have to move the target up now. Grab the target. I can move alerts when I don't try, but I can't move a freaking oval. So that would be the zone somewhere in there on the retrace. TNDM. That's MedTech, diabetes care. That one probably getting pretty hurt with the GLP-1 drugs. I mean, watch for a break lower. LABU. Upsides 220. I got to take that off log mode. Upside 220. Downside retest of the trend breakout and roadmap line that seems to be coming up in that same vicinity there. This is leveraged biotech. That's like two things that are super dangerous. Leverage and biotech stacked on top of each other. Be careful. Biotech on top of that. Now remember, tonight at 5 p.m., I'm going to do 30 minutes of your requests for 30 minutes of awesome. I'll be back live on the stream. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell with the notifications, the doodads, all notifications. Turn that on if you want to get notified when I go live every single time. And set an alarm in your calendar. Like, load up your calendar in your phone. If you've never used it before, learn how to do it. Put an alert on there and be like 9:15 every morning, JT's live. And 5 p.m. on Tuesdays, JT's live. And I can make requests. If you're not here tonight at 5 to make requests, I can't do your requests. All right? Can't cover what you want to see. So just throwing that out there. AMAT, probably heading up to 220. ARM, probably on the way back down. That looks a lot like the crazy chart. Crazy chart. Right there. Remember, be careful. FU. Foo-foo. I'm not even sure what that is. Doesn't have enough candles to do anything with it. Baidu. Right back down to the low. May extend down to 93 on Baidu. ENPH. Stuck on the roadmap line. That's a lower high. Watch out for a break lower. TECL. Probably needs a retrace if the market gives it up. Be careful. FWRG. First Watch. I am not a fan of First Watch. I go in there and read the menu. I'm like, what is this? Everybody's like, it's breakfast. I'm like, breakfast doesn't have a paragraph description. Anyway. Would not surprise me for that to come back after being so extended. GFS. Global Foundries. That's very choppy. Kind of has this archy moving down pattern. The roadmap line drifting lower. Seems to be the trend right there. All right. I never see anything on the menu at First Watch that I want to have. I don't go there. Plus, I don't drink coffee, so I mean, they don't. It's not like they serve monsters. Anyway, that's pretty much breakfast for me. Right there you go. we tagged that 5150, or all but, as we started out here. Price call out. Got that like, well, that didn't tag the exact high because I didn't use the magnet. But pretty darn close. And rejecting negatively. Watch out. We could push a little higher. We could. But I think we're in the vicinity of topping. Be careful out there. All right, nobody's going to watch your account but you. And if you want to go deeper with me, you want to get the market roadmap line, whatever it might be that you want to do, link is in the description below. $5 to get the market roadmap line. And I got a variety of other things, but that's the easiest way to get started. And come support me and my family. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you this evening at 5 p.m. Come watch me. If I said anything today that was awesome, that helpful, give me a thumbs up on the video, give me a like, and